Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I am still recovering from the bubonic plague, and so sorry about how my voice sounds. But today we are going to be talking about a video that was uploaded on TikTok that I think is actually really interesting. And I think like when people see this video, they immediately maybe want to be critical of this person, and it's a person that's sharing their frustrations with their weight, and someone that has been trying to lose weight basically their entire life, right? They talk about it, right? So this comes from Alicia, I think, the country bumpkin on TikTok, and she is just sharing her frustrations with wanting to lose weight but feeling like she's never able to do it. And the reason that I really like this video is because, one, obviously it's very open and honest, and I feel that she does a pretty good job of explaining what a lot of people that have struggled with their weight for a extended period of time kind of feel. It's really easy as someone that, as someone that's lost weight, or anyone that maybe has never struggled with weight, it's really easy to, just eat less and move more. But I think that while that obviously is the option, you have to be in a deficit to lose weight, it's a lot more complicated than that. And there are plenty of people that have tried for a very long time and have not been able to be successful, and they're completely valid in feeling very frustrated, right? And so we're just going to kind of go over her video, and she's going to talk about how she feels, and I'll just share my opinion here and there.
I don't even know how to start this video, and it might fall because you're balancing on my chicken coop right now. I'm going to stand back here because I don't want to anyways. Is anybody else, and I'm opening the door for trolls right now because I know somebody's going to come on here and they're going to say something stupid. But I have to remember that if you say something hateful, if you say something mean, that is a projection, a reflection of you, not of me. So, I'm 34 years old.
And so I want to make it clear that anything that I say in this video, it's not me trying to discredit how she feels and how anyone feels that's going through this. It's more just trying to hopefully give some insight as to, if you're really struggling with this and you're really frustrated here, maybe try this, or maybe this could help you, not in this is what you need to do, you dummy kind of way, but hey, I can see that you're frustrated, maybe try doing this. And I just want to make that clear. This is not a video me trying to be hateful or harmful or a told you so kind of thing, right?
And I have battled my weight for 20 years. That is longer than I have battled weight longer than I have not.
Yeah, right. So it basically just feels like this is the way that I have to live my life, is I have to just constantly be struggling with my weight. That is just my normal, right?
That is ridiculous. I have ketoed, I have Weight Watchered, I have counted calories, and I'm talking weighed my food. I still do. I've been with my husband 10 years in March. 10 years. And in 10 years, he has never not known me to work out minimum 4 days a week, count my calories, or in some, either counting calories or Weight Watchers. He has never not known me to do those things. And I'm so sick of the people that are like, oh, cut out sodas. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink sodas. Or cut out XYZ. I don't know what Hollywood has done to your brain. I do not sit on the couch and eat 3 Whoppers and 2 large fries and a large cherry Coke and eat a tub of ice cream. I might even cry because I'm so angry about it.
So I understand being really frustrated about this situation. It can be really easy to just feel like, well, I'm not doing what people maybe assume that I'm doing, right? I think it's really easy when you're in a bigger body to just assume that everyone kind of has the most negative thoughts, or they just assume that you're doing the most unhealthy possible thing, right? And that's why you're bigger. And there's plenty of people that maybe don't feel like the habits that they have are indicative of how they look, right? They feel like the habits that they have are the habits of someone that would be much smaller. And now I obviously don't know exactly what this person is doing day to day. I think that one of the biggest, and again, I'm not saying that this is what you're doing, but one of the biggest problems that a lot of people face is that there is this, it's almost like a graph that's going up and down and up and down and up and down, right? And the consistency, it might it wanes quite a bit, right? And so it's like, this is why I'm not a huge fan of like really intense and restrictive kind of diets. Like if I'm working with a client, I would never make them do something that for them feels like really restrictive and very difficult, because I don't see that that is a way to find a maintainable and like realistic weight loss or just maintenance, right? Like that's not the way to go about it. And I think a lot of people, there's that you get this like really big rush of excitement and motivation at the start of maybe a new diet or workout routine, and the graph goes up, right? We shoot up to that peak, and you know, maybe it lasts for a few weeks, maybe not even that long, but then eventually you end up not being able to do that and the peak goes down. And when that peak goes down, for a lot of people, it's really easy to just fall back into maybe not the best habits. And so a lot of times when I hear these kinds of things that someone is going through, like, oh, I've tried every diet, I've tried everything, I've done that for a long time. It's like, well, how consistent were you for an extended period of time? And were the things that you were doing unnecessarily hard? And that seems to be the case for a lot of people. Like I read a comment in the bottom of this video where it was someone said like, oh, I realized that I wasn't eating enough. We've talked about this quite a bit, but like, you know, if you're in a surplus of calories, you're going to gain weight. And I think like when people think they're not eating enough, what actually ends up happening is that when they're dieting, they're quote unquote not eating enough, but then the days that they're not dieting, they're overeating so much that their weekly calories or monthly calories, however you want to look at it, ends up being a surplus, and they end up gaining weight. And so they start eating more on the days where they are being good, and they actually see their weight go down, because on those days where they're maybe they're not having as many days as when they're off of their diet, or maybe those days when they're kind of eating a little bit more of the things that they want, they're not feeling as deprived, and so they're not eating so much more, right? They're able to be a little bit more constricted with their eating, and they're not as ravenous on those days, right? And so there's a ton of factors, and it's not as easy as saying just eat less and move more. And I understand that, and I'm really not trying to discredit how this person feels at all.
And I don't like that kind of emotion on social media, but like I'm so frustrated because why is it this freaking hard? Sorry if you hear my rooster.
Sounds like a dinosaur, man.
He's upset that I'm upset. Him sweet boy. Anyways, I'm so frustrated because it's like, God, is this the cross that I have to bear? Like, is this, and I know to some people they're like, oh gosh, what a whiny baby. But like, if you haven't dealt with it your whole life, if you have not worked so freaking hard to have no results, you don't get it.
And I just want to make it clear, I understand. Like I've said this many times, but I used to make jokes that I don't have a metabolism, or that my metabolism is broken, and I would try and lose weight. And I was the person that I couldn't even lose 10 pounds, right? Like I couldn't even lose 10 pounds. It felt impossible for me. It felt like I tried everything. I felt like I tried every diet. I would try and stick to these things. I would go get up at freaking 5 a.m. and run a mile with the sauna suit on. Like I remember I did that with a family friend. And I felt like I tried everything, and it was so unbelievably frustrating because I would see absolutely no results, right? And so I just want to say, for anyone that feels like they are in this position, I understand where you're coming from, but I also believe that there is a way forward, right? And you don't have to feel completely stuck in these ways.
Scroll. This is for the people that have battled the freaking demon of being the demon of obesity. And then it's like, okay, so I've battled obesity, I've done Weight Watchers, I've done keto, I've done calorie counting, I've had a personal trainer, and I will see a difference. Don't mistake me, but like I'll lose 30 pounds and then nada.
So that's a big thing that happens to a lot of people, right? You see the weight come off initially, and then it's like, well, I'm doing the same things, but I'm not losing the weight. And there's a ton of different things that could be. It could just be that you just need to wait a little bit longer, right? And you see a lot of results at the start, and you get used to that, and then you're like expecting that to continue. But the answer for me is that the things that you were doing at that time, if you weren't truly enjoying it and you felt like you were pushing so hard and not seeing results, it makes complete sense that you would not want to continue doing that. And so the answer, in my opinion, when you are in that position is think to yourself, okay, what am I doing that I truly don't enjoy, that I don't see myself wanting to continue? And the only reason I'm doing it is because I want weight loss to happen. And start being like, okay, I need to figure out a way to make this more enjoyable. If it's the diet and you're, severely under eating, but it's making you lose weight, there has to be a way that you have to find a diet that will work for you. And I understand it's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. But like, if you are seeing results, obviously your body is not broken, but those things that you are trying to do are not working for you. And so many people, they feel that they have failed a diet. I failed keto. I failed Weight Watchers, when in reality, those diets are failing you. They're not working for you, and that's what they should be doing. And if they're not working for you, that's not a failure on your end. That's a failure on that diet, and that is something that will never work for you, right? And so it's important to, whenever something fails, try and learn from it and think to yourself, what can I do in the future to make this more long-lasting, right?
Or I will strengthen my body, which I love. Again, I love working out. It's a great time. It's good for my mental health. I feel better when I do it. But again, it's like I made white people tacos and my husband had 6. He had 6 with full fat cheddar cheese and sour cream. You want to know what I had? A taco with plain Greek yogurt and fat-free cheese. My husband couldn't find me. I'm behind.
So that right there is like one. I mean, there's quite a few things to say. Obviously, you don't want to really compare yourself to other people. Everyone is going to be in a different position. Like, I could probably eat that many tacos. I have a good amount of muscle mass. It's just different. But also, like, if you are severely restricting yourself that much, it makes sense that maybe after a while you're like, I can't do this anymore, and you eat a little bit more, right? And so like, if you are severely restricting yourself to that extent, and then on top of it, you're seeing your husband and you're comparing yourself to that, it makes sense that these are things that aren't going to work long term, right?
The chicken coop. I digress. Let's start over again. Or not start over, keep going. Okay, so he had 6 tacos. I had 1 with fat-free cheese and 0 Faye Greek yogurt. Okay? Today, calorically speaking, I have had 1,521 calories, and that is a lot of food for me. I know what you're thinking. You're looking at me going, there ain't no damn way that's a lot of food for you. I don't know. I feel crazy.
So, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of saying the same stuff over and over again, right? But if 1,500 calories for a day feels like it's a lot of food, so I would assume that a lot of other days you are eating significantly less. If that's not working for you, it might be time to start thinking, okay, maybe I need to daily try and have a little bit more calories. And because maybe over the week, over the month, you end up having a certain amount of days where you're quote unquote off the wagon and you are eating significantly more. And when I'm saying you, again, I'm just using this video as a kind of like a proxy to talk about these ideas in general. Again, I don't know this woman. I'm not going to sit here and say I know how to fix this exact situation, but just in general, I know that there are a lot of people that feel this way, right? And so like, that's why I'm saying that. So if 1,500 calories feels like a lot, that means you're probably eating significantly less than that daily. And then there might be certain days where you end up overeating significantly more than that, right? And then so if we're looking at the week in total, you end up being higher in calories, right? So again, I'm not saying for sure, but that's where my mind goes.
Because I work so hard and I don't see a difference. And so then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's talk to some people about it. Let's talk to friends or family or whatever. And it's always this, like, okay, go to the doctor. If there's something wrong, which I've had uterine problems for a couple years now, it is always, the first thing is always, have you thought about losing weight? Yes! You reckon? Sorry if I just hurt your eardrum. But then it's like, okay, well, have you thought about cutting out sodas? I don't drink sodas. You don't drink sodas? No, I don't drink sodas. I drink water. Not even flavored water. I like water. Well, what about your coffee creamer? You know, coffee creamer can add a lot of calories. If coffee creamer, are you kidding me? But also, I measure 3 tablespoons of sugar-free Italian sweet cream every day, and it's 45 calories. And when I say measure, I put it on a scale, put a cup on, zero it out, pour it in, and measure the grams into my Lose It app. Okay? So it's not my creamer. I have had hormone panels done. I have had...
So I understand being frustrated, but at the same time, I don't know, like, these people are probably just genuinely trying to help. Like, if weight loss is something that it seems that she wants to do, right? Like, all they can really do is try and offer some help. So I don't know.
All the blood drawn. Everything's in range. Everything's fine. Everything's not fine. Everything's not fine. If it were fine, wouldn't I have lost weight by now? Like, wouldn't I be able to lose weight, like, continuously? Why is this such a fight? And so then, like, I feel bad, and I'm like, because there was a TikTok the other day that was like, if you're thinking about it more than you're thinking about God, that is, you're worshiping it. And so now, like, I'm like, God, forgive me. Like, I don't mean to worship this. I had to get an extender on my belt when we went to go ride go-karts at the beach. And, like, I went to my niece's dance recital, and my behind did not fit in the seat. I went to see the Backstreet Boys down in Florida with my best friend, and again, it didn't fit when I sat. And, like,
those feelings are very frustrating, right? When you feel like your size is limiting the life that you are able to live, the life that you want to live, it can be very frustrating. And this is where I feel like the fat acceptance kind of community kind of misses the boat, because they don't really talk about this much, because it's almost like, well, if that's how you feel, then, you know, it's society that is the problem and it's not you. But in reality, like, you know, if you're not able to fit in the places that the majority of people that can fit in, you're not able to do the things that the majority of people can do, it's going to feel very isolating. And if someone has that experience and then from that they decide, you know what, I want to make a change in my life, I want to lose weight, I want to make these things more possible for myself, those people shouldn't be shamed, and they should be encouraged to do that, you know, to make that change.
I don't know what else to do. So then, okay, all right, so here's our options. Everybody's like, man, you looked really good though back in high school. Yes, because I was puking my guts up. I was throwing up after I ate. Yes, I looked fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you for solidifying that I have more value at a less weight regardless of how I got there. Love that for us. And then it's like, okay.
So, I mean, I can understand feeling frustrated, but obviously, like, I don't know. It's tough because I'm assuming that the people that are making those comments aren't doing it out of a place of malice, right? They're just trying to, like, you know, share those. And I'm assuming if they found that out, they'd be like, okay, well, obviously I would not recommend you do that, you know, to be at that size anymore. Again, it's tough. I can understand being frustrated, but I don't think that those people making those comments are evil in just maybe mentioning that, especially if they don't know exactly how that's happening, right?
Weight loss surgery. But then, like, I have a lot of friends that highly regret having weight loss surgery. But then there's a lot of people that are like, no, it was great. But then no matter what, if you lose weight that way, you did it easy. Took the easy way out. No, they didn't. They're all but like halfway dying a little bit to be skinny, to get rid of other health problems that they couldn't get rid of with regular diet and exercise. Because what is wrong? This is long-winded, and I'm sorry. I'm just so frustrated. I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a bummer, and I think it's a good thing that weight loss surgery exists, and I think that there are definitely specific people that it's really, really helpful for, and it's a bummer that people will treat it as, like, quote unquote, an easy way out. I think that it is something that helps a lot of people that maybe don't like aren't able to do it on their own for whatever reason that might be. Especially like you see it obviously very often in like My 500-Pound Life, people that really need that to happen. But I think that it is good to, with that being said, it is good to think critically and think to yourself, okay, what, like, is this, because I think weight loss surgery is basically like the final step, right? Like, there are a lot of other things you can do before you decide to go that route, because that route, while it's very helpful, it does have a lot of downsides, right? And she kind of mentioned it. And there's a lot of things that you end up like kind of losing out on for a very long time, or maybe even for the rest of your life, right? With like certain ways that you're able to eat, certain foods that you're able to eat. It really is life-altering surgery. And so it's definitely something that you should really, really consider before you decide to take that step. But if someone takes that step, they shouldn't be shamed or made feel less than, of course.
And so now I have looked into the GLP-1 things, like the ones that just snob into you, and like, there are some friends of mine that are like, just do it, try it, like, do it for you. And then there's other friends that are like, I would never. And like, okay, I get it, but like, I'm so tired of fighting this.
And it's interesting the way that she talks about that, because it does feel like there's maybe some sort of internalized negativity about those things, when like, if this is a genuine frustration that you have and you feel that you've tried everything at this point, like, I'm wondering what the apprehension is there, right? Like, I'm wondering why it seems that that's not really an option that she wants to take. I don't know for sure.
I'm so sick of it. And like, I don't hate my body. I think my body's pretty banging. Like, I ain't mad at it. But also, I don't want to have to get an extender to ride a go-kart with my baby. I don't want to sit down with my guitar and be uncomfortable. I want to be able to go to a store and just grab a pair of jeans and put them around my neck and be like, yup, them will fit, and wear them out. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight this anymore. I'm so sick of fighting being skinny. I don't even want to be skinny. I just want to have a body that shows that I don't eat like an asshole, like they try to show people that overweight people must do in the movies. I have quite literally never ate like one of those people in movies. I've never even had a Big Mac. I don't even know what the point of this video was. I'm venting. We're besties. Okay, bye.
So, I mean, that's obviously the video, and I've tried to share what I feel. Again, I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to shame this person or be like, well, this is what you need to do. I think that I understand that frustration because I have been there. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because regardless of how like lost and like how much it might feel like it's impossible, I do think that there is always a step that you can take. And again, obviously I understand I'm a guy, and whenever I talk about this, they're like, well, you don't understand. I understand that there could be like PCOS, there could be other hormonal issues that are going on, especially with women, that make it a little bit more difficult. But I've also had many conversations of women that have felt very similar to this, that were able to get through it. And I think that, I hope that she doesn't completely just disregard any sort of other ways of losing weight, whether that's a GLP-1 or a weight loss surgery, whatever she decides to do, or even if she, decides to try it, quote unquote, naturally, whatever. Some people don't like that term, but like, I just hope that she doesn't completely give up because she feels that she's tried everything. And like, that's the biggest thing, because I hear that sentiment, that feeling, like I feel like I've tried everything. And a lot of times maybe that isn't the case. And that's not me trying to say that she's a liar or she doesn't understand, she just doesn't get it. That's just me as someone that felt that same way, realizing that the things that I thought I knew, I just didn't actually know, right? And I thought I was doing certain things when I wasn't actually doing those things. And I just want to encourage anyone in that position that there's more to it, right? And like, don't feel lost. There's always a way to push forward. But those are just my opinions. I would love to know what y'all thought down in the comment section down below. I hope I did my best explaining how I feel here. If you did make it to the end of the video, I appreciate it with how my voice sounds. Hopefully it'll be back soon. But thank y'all so much for watching. Leave your comments down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.